Hello, everybody. Welcome to day 3 of New Gut, New Year, New Gut, New Health. I had to get that straight. I'm super excited to talk to you today. I actually do really love coming on live and doing these events a few times a year. It really gets a chance for me to connect with people other than one-to-one with clients or, you know, um, posting things on Instagram, which is not my favorite. I'm not an influencer. I'm more of like an educator and hopefully inspire you to take action on your health. So yeah, we have just done a little bit of where are we from, and it looks like all over Canada, which is so cool. Now, let me know in the chat if you have seen day 1 and day 2. If you're caught up, say caught up. If you missed a day and you maybe caught day 1 and not yesterday, and now you're here, say missed. So are you caught up or have you missed? Okay, Ingrid's caught up. Jennifer's caught up. Yeah, great. Missed day 1. Okay, Eleanor's missed day 1. Okay, that's a big one to go back and watch on the same replay page that I emailed out yesterday. Stephanie's caught up, caught up. Okay, perfect. Great. So let me share my slides here. Hopefully it'll work today because, once in a while it wants to play around and not work. Okay, yay. See, and this time it works the first time. You just never know. Just going to this to full screen and we will go into day 3. And hit present. And then you guys can let me know if you can see everything okay. Present. Weird. Present. Present. There we go. Didn't go purple. All right. I'm trusting everybody can see that okay. I'm just going to bring the chat over here so I can check it out. Okay, Anne, the video of day 1 stopped halfway. Did you check it recently? Because I had re-uploaded it in case it got stuck in the upload process. Because when I watch it, it lets me move along. So did you look at that on Monday or did you look like yesterday? If you could let me know, that would be awesome. Yeah, I'll just keep an eye out for that in the chat. Okay, cool. So today, here for day 3, we're going to talk about why you might be bloated, tired, stuck, and what really needs to change to feel better in your body, whether you are in your 30s, 40s, 50s, or even beyond. And thank you. You checked yesterday, or you haven't checked yesterday. Okay, it should work now. All right. So over the last 2 days, you've learned, hopefully, 2 really important things: that your body's not broken and that your gut affects your entire body. And it is driving symptoms that you have no answers for, or you haven't been able to get data about from your doctor. And that functional lab testing that I showed you yesterday, it can actually provide those answers that traditional care can't. So today we kind of bring it all together in how do you go about this? How do we approach gut, hormones, metabolism, weight, energy, nutrition, exercise? Like, where does it all fit in? So one fact is that most women wait too long to get answers. And I really think it's not because you don't care. It's because you're overwhelmed. Life is so freaking busy, like so busy. And now if you have kids in extracurriculars, it's like there's an app for volleyball and dance and hockey and soccer and RSVP and fundraising. And oh, don't forget parent teacher and log on for your Zoom meeting with them. And like it's nonstop. And we have so much data and so much information coming at us that it feels so heavy and it's so muddled up that it's hard to figure out what's really happening. So you might normalize or brush off your symptoms because you have to keep carrying on with the day, right? You can't just, spend your whole day, necessarily researching. You have to still go about the jobs, the things. And you might really feel unheard or unseen by your doctor. And this happens a lot where you go in and you say, I just don't feel like myself. I'm feeling more anxious. I'm getting bloated. I have irregular bowel movements. I have PMS. I'm getting headaches. And they sort of, say, okay, well, let's try to medicate it. And have you tried Advil? Have you tried Tylenol? Have you tried naproxen? And they're trying to get the symptoms to kind of go away for you so that, or whether it's laxatives or whatever, so that you can feel better. They're trying to help you feel better, but that doesn't always mean they're getting to the root of the problem. They're just medicating it so you can carry on with your busy, crazy life. So through that process, you learn to manage your symptoms. You stop talking about them maybe, or feel like it's just you, or you have friends that are experiencing the same thing, and that makes you feel like it's normal. Especially in this perimenopausal space, it's so easy to be in the club of like misery, of like, oh, now I have, dizziness. Now I have ear pain. Now I have angry rage. Now I have insomnia. And it becomes this complain fest, but it doesn't need to be that way. And it's not helping you to commiserate other than just to feel like you're not alone, which is important. I don't want you to feel alone, but we have to do better with educating women on how to resolve these things so that you don't have to suffer. So you convince yourself it's stress, age, hormones, or you push through until your body forces a change. So life keeps lifing, motherhood, parenting, work, relationship stress, busy evenings, loads of responsibilities, and there just doesn't seem to be a solid way forward. Currently in my life, on one of my kids' soccer teams, there's a mom who got diagnosed with breast cancer, and she has not told anybody. She told me because she knows the work I do. And we've been implementing like a whole bunch of things. But the problem is that when we wait so long, it's like it's even more dire. And so now it's like her whole life is flipped upside down. And she's doing 7 million tests and inside and outside the healthcare system, all the data, all the things, all making all the changes that you can make preventatively to make sure your body doesn't end up in that situation. And so she sees that now, the value of bringing in this other information that could be driving some of that issue that she's having. And that's you for 50 years. Oh my gosh, that is a long time. And mom has no problem if you're late. That's totally okay. So symptoms don't just create discomfort. It's not about how tough are you, how much can you suffer through. Trust me, if there was a toughness award, I would win. I have done some crazy things in my life, like burst my lung, broke my ribs, herniated my spine, and biked out of the mountains in that situation. I've done some crazy stuff. So it's not about can you tolerate it, how tough are you? You shouldn't need to tolerate and be tough and suck it up and all these things, this messaging that you kind of get. The problem is that those symptoms create limits. So it's no to taking your photo, no to playing with your kids, no to the hike or bike ride, no to date night, no to travel, to swimsuits, to tight clothes, to new opportunities, to spontaneous plans, to feeling confident in a room. And after a while, you might start believing that's just who you are now. You're just that way, right? Maybe, and I have a lot of women with that sort of identity. They're like, I've just always been the overweight. I've always been, the frumpy, like, wearing the comfort clothing and I love the comfy stuff too. But just really hiding and not shining as bright as they could. I had a client once that joined my program and she when I saw her in her first visit, she was sort of like very deflated and very low energy and just constantly napping and having cravings and digestive problems. And when I saw her at her follow-up visit, I almost didn't even recognize her. She was wearing colors like red and she was vibrant and her skin almost had more color to it, like more saturation in it. And I was like, wow. Like, and I said to her, I was like, you actually kind of look like a different person. And she said that her coworkers said the same thing. They're like, what are you taking and what are you doing? Because she'd been feeling so good. Her confidence came back. Her energy was improving. Then when you feel better, you do better. You dress differently, you carry yourself differently, you move through your days with more solid um, belief that nothing's going to throw you off, not your gut or otherwise. So I want so you should be using your workbook. So hopefully you're all using your workbook. But I want to talk to you about your why, your real, true why. You don't have to tell me. You can tell me in the chat if you want, but you don't have to, or you could email me, or you could completely write it in your own journal and it's your personal journey. But I want you to fill in that sentence. I don't just want to feel better. I want to fill in the blank. What do you really, truly want out of this one precious life you have? Maybe you want to feel confident. Maybe you want to stop canceling plans so you can live again. Maybe you want to thrive instead of survive. The energy, Angie says energy. Maybe you want to be present with your kids without snapping. Maybe you want to enjoy travel and restaurants. Maybe feel like yourself, just mood and energy wise. And maybe stop thinking about your body and food and calories and diet and clothing and It's just the same cycle day after day. Maybe you want to feel powerful and capable. Because I promise you, what you want, it is not to be a certain jean size. It is not. It is not necessarily just to look good in a bikini. It is not just to be able to, order what you want at a restaurant. It's beyond. There has to be a depth beyond. Because why else would you care about your health? Right? Because you can technically live with extra weight, with low energy. So, what is it that is going to be the thing that makes you want to take control of your health? Yeah, Simran says, I want to start thriving, get rid of pain, more energy, not be able to worry every time I travel or go to a restaurant and what I want to eat and be carefree. Yes, being carefree, that is totally it. To be healthy and less anxious, love it. Totally agree. But why now? So you all signed up for this in some way or another, but why now? Is it because it's January and you always start something new in January? Or are you really so sick and tired of the cycle? Because I know I've been there. Are you so sick and tired of not understanding what the problem is, of trying different strategies, of buying random supplements, of just trying to hope your doctor finds some other thing wrong so it explains what you have? Because you might really be used to feeling inflamed and tired. You've normalized your symptoms, you've lost confidence, you've already spent money, you've probably shrunk your life around your gut or your symptoms, maybe stop trusting your body and yourself. So the biggest cost isn't discomfort, it's the life you don't live. It's the life you don't live. Ingrid said, I'm tired of not getting real answers. I want to love myself. Absolutely. So when I worked in the cancer center, there was a nurse that I worked with who was maybe like the equivalent of age of my mother. So maybe I was like 25 and she was like 48 or 50. And I remember talking to her and we were going to go on a trip. And I'm like, oh yeah, we're going to go to, Mexico or whatever it was. Actually, it was Hawaii. And I said, have you been? And, I thought here she's 48, her kids are like teens. And she's like, oh no, we're going to wait till we retire. And she's like in her late 40s. And I was like, oh, I was kind of shocked because for me, I'm like, live your life now, be well now so you can do all the things. So I said to her, I was like, oh, really? And I'm like, that's interesting. And I just kind of thought to myself, wow, here I'm at 25, just taking the leap and doing the things and knowing that I need to soak up every day. And fast forward like a year, I think it was a year or so, her husband has a massive heart attack and he's on all these medications. If you know anyone like this, you'll know they're on high blood pressure medications, maybe two of them, maybe a statin, maybe this thing and that thing, and maybe a water pill and all the things. And so he had such a massive heart attack that now they're worried about traveling. So I caught up with her, fast forward and was like, oh my gosh, how are you doing now? Are you going to go on that trip ever? Years later, nope, still not going. Now they're not going because there's more restrictions on their health. There's more limitations. And it just made me so sad. And they still to this day have not, I don't work with her anymore. I don't work in the healthcare system in the traditional sense anymore, but they still haven't gone. And she's like literally like, I don't even know, like 63 or something. Like it's 20 years later. And to me, I think that's just so sad that she didn't live her life because the health of her husband in this case, held them back. And everyone thinks they're going to retire and like go hike in Italy and go walk 14,000 steps in Europe. But the reality is knee pain, joint pain, fatigue, frailty. These are and medications or the worry that something might go wrong with your health is really looming over that generation. Maybe some of you that are here that might be listening that are in menopause or retired can relate, where you're like, "Ooh, I'm not really sure I want to go anywhere because what if something happens?" What if you actually had the confidence that you've been taking care of yourself? Some of you that are younger, that you start taking care of yourself in your 30s and 40s, and you trust. I trusted my body so much when I was 6 months pregnant with my first child. We flew to Hawaii, and I was 6 months pregnant with my first. So I trusted that much that I understood my body, my child, my unborn child, what my body would do. There was nothing unpredictable about it because I was creating my health. I wasn't just relying on, mainstream advice to give me information about my nutrition and pregnancy or any of that, even at those stages. So most women think waiting doesn't make a big difference because they've already been suffering for months, years, or even decades. But waiting just means you keep paying for it with your time, your confidence, and missed opportunities, and you don't get those things back, right? You don't get your time, and that's our most precious commodity is our time. You don't get your confidence, and you don't get your missed opportunities back. So waiting and delaying, guessing or hoping things change is not a strategy, unfortunately. Shireen says, exhausted all my options and no answers from my doctor or the specialist. Shrunk around the gut problems, Simran says. Yeah, absolutely. It's so common and it's so sad and it's so preventable. So the missing piece when it comes to restoring your health is a phased approach. There is a correct order to put the missing puzzle pieces into place so that the puzzle comes together. Because gut healing and restoring your health, it's not going to boil down to one thing, but we act like it is. We act like it's one protocol, one test, one supplement, one diet. It's not ever going to be just one thing because you have this incredible machine that is your body. This machine cannot be replicated by AI, by robots, by scientists. It is so not understood. It is a self-healing machine. It's built that way. You break a bone, literally stay still long enough, it will heal. You get a cut, your immune system will patch it up. You close your eyes at night, your brain will flush itself. Like there are healing mechanisms in your body every single second of every single day. So to think that your body's broken or, oh, it's just as easy as this one thing, then we wouldn't have this crazy epidemic of autoimmunity, heart disease, cancer, stroke, which, as I mentioned, the majority of the population is going to die from those things. It's not if, it's when. It's not if, it's when. Everybody is going to. So what I'm here, my mission is to help people understand you don't have to go down the path with everybody else. If you take different steps and you address your body with the right things in the right order and you create a foundation for your health, that foundation of your health is it means you're going to understand your body and it keeps inflammation low, digestion optimized. And we know if your gut health and digestion is good, we learned all about in the first 2 days how it's going to have a trickle down effect on everything else. um, then you're going to have optimized health. You're going to know I showed up in this one life as a 10.0 version of myself, that I flipped over every stone to find answers and that I did everything I could to take care of me. So no matter how that was, where that took me, it was pushing my uppermost limit of potential. And that's what I want for really all women. So the order and the personalization of a plan for yourself matters more than effort because you can have all this information. Like sometimes in a different chat I did, like an event I did maybe 6 months ago, like, oh yeah, yeah, I know that. Oh yeah, I know that. It's like, okay, but are you doing it? It's are you consistently implementing? Because there's so much information online. And if we all did everything we read, we would be the healthiest people on earth. But it's about how do we do this in the order our body needs? How do we make it stick for life? So it's not a fad. It's not like, oh, I'm going to go do a diet for 30 days. It's how do I stay healthy forever without it having to be like a diet or a short-term unsustainable plan. So total health restoration is going to require you to look at your body as one interconnected being. So the factors that when I went through my own, like I told you guys yesterday that my son didn't sleep for like 2 years. So I was up breastfeeding him every 2 or 3 hours for 2 years. And I'm like looking back, I'm like, was I crazy? Like, why would I do that? And now when I see people post that like their baby's not sleeping after 5 months, and I think, how did I not have the sense? But there wasn't as much social media, right? Like 10, 12 years ago, there wasn't as much information. My husband, nobody ever said to me, hey, you should sleep. You need a good night's rest. So I was up like the good mom, the martyr, nursing him. And that destroyed my adrenal glands. It broke down my gut wall. It triggered my immune system. So I was getting eczema. I was getting sinus infections. I couldn't fight anything off. I was getting headaches, PMS. I was even developing anxiety. And all of that was because there was a straw that broke the camel's back, but it was a combination of these factors. So when I learned about functional medicine, integrative health, I ran the right lab tests. The way that I put together I say it was like Humpty Dumpty. The way that Humpty Dumpty gets put back together is by doing these things in the right order and not all at once. The problem is some women say, so say lifestyle. They're like, I'm going to exercise 5 days a week. I'm going to go to bed early. I'm going to stop scrolling. I'm going to take a probiotic. I'm going to take these other supplements. I'm going to overhaul my whole pantry. I'm going to do all these things. And then they fail because it's too much in their already busy life and it's not done in the right order. So it doesn't create change right away. So then they feel defeated and they're like, well, it doesn't really work. Right. And that's doctors will say nutrition doesn't matter. Like the number of times I've had clients that say that they talk to their doctor and their doctor's like, no, nutrition's not affecting your IBS. No, it doesn't matter what you eat for your constipation. It's like, what? If food didn't matter, then why wouldn't we all be the exact same like carbon copies of one another? And one person can go and eat, A&W 3 meals a day, and the other person could eat healthy, and they're saying that that makes no difference. Like this is it's frankly irresponsible to say that. Of course it makes a difference. We're built of the things of the inputs, and those inputs are these factors: your lifestyle, your sleep, your mindset, your hormone balance, taking the right supplements for your body. And in today's modern day, you do need to take some. Nobody is eating three picture perfect, nutrient dense meals 3 times a day and having perfect digestion and eating it in an unrushed manner. So there are nutrient deficiencies. Our soil does not contain the nutrients it used to in the 1960s. A potato today, eating a baked potato, does not have as much nutrition in it as it did, as it does. It does not have it now as much as it did then. It's even 90% reduced because of the soil quality and the over farming. So it's your mineral balance and your nutrients. It's how stable is your blood sugar. It's how is your digestion and gut health, and how is your ability to deal with your nervous system and stress. So this is adrenal function, cortisol. So these are the factors that do need to be addressed for you to be healthy. Like there's not one of these that I can't speak to being super important. So most women try to fix them all eight at the same time. So it's not that you're not trying, it's that there's not a strategic approach. It feels like chaos and it feels unsustainable to be healthy. Now, is the work higher when you're starting to take on something like addressing your health? Yes, because there's more new information. So the initial climb, the initial ascent to where you want to go, is going to be steeper. It's going to be hard. You know, when you go on a hike and you're like, this is good, it's all flat. And then you start going up the uphill and you're like, why am I doing this? This sucks. My legs are burning. There's sweat rolling down my back. Like, ugh, I just want to stop and have water and sit down and just go back down. So there's resistance. There is gonna be resistance when you're on a health journey, but it's about doing it in a way where it still feels doable. It's not impossible. You haven't put 500 things in front of you. And then as you start to go up and up, suddenly it levels out and it becomes your norm. It becomes who you are because you do these things strategically day in and day out. And that's what will build and create your health. So the secret isn't more effort, it's the right sequence. So we still work on all the areas in the wheel. Those are all critical, whether you are in your 20s, 40s, 50s, 60s, it doesn't matter. You need to work on those areas, but in the right order. So the way that I've been able to do this and help women with this successfully is through this method. I call it the Calm, Discover, and Thrive method. So the first step is always going to be to calm inflammation and chaos. So you need to tell your body, like again, if you're going down the wrong path, we need to take a detour and just go down a different one. We need to put inputs into the body that will calm inflammation with specific foods, specific lifestyle practices for the first 30 days so that your body suddenly goes, ah, that's exactly what I needed. It's like fitting the right key in the keyhole, where suddenly you're like, my clothes fit better. Weird. I'm I'm not like needing sugar this afternoon. Odd. I actually have energy to go for a walk. Weird. I didn't snap at my kids today. It's these small subtleties. Wait, my bowel movement's formed. It's inflammation starts decreasing. Your body starts responding pretty quickly. And some of the testimonials I'm going to show you are of women who within 1, 2 weeks already experienced this because they're calming the chaos in the first 30 days. The second step is always going to be to discover your unique root causes. Literally, if we don't know what is causing your problem, how are we going to get to the bottom of it? I'm not a wizard. I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know what everybody's root cause is. And that's why we test and address what is going on to pinpoint your imbalances particularly. So we use this data that comes back about your body paired with your symptoms and history and go, wow, okay, so she had this, well, no wonder, look what's going on in her gut. And then we create a personalized plan for you that says, hey, Cindy, step one, here's what we're going to do and here's why. Step two, this is what we're going to do based on your test. Step three, and it's this tailor-made plan to remove what's hurting your body. Now, the first 30 days is like priming your body to be moving in the right direction. And now we're going to remove what's hurting the body at the next level using herbs, supplements, and particular foods. Third is you implement your individualized plan while you fine tune factors that really will create health for you or destroy your health, like your sleep, like your lifestyle, like your environment, your nervous system, and your hormone healthy or unhealthy living. So interestingly, about the mom who contacted me who's going through this, like her life's been thrown upside down in the last 4 weeks with this breast cancer. Um, so we're talking about a few things, and I said, you do use aluminum-free deodorant, right? And she goes, I just literally switched like 2 weeks before I found the lump. So if there ever was like, I was like, oh my gosh, you were really using like, taught like parabens and chemicals and aluminum still, I didn't say that to her. I don't want to make her feel bad, but in my mind, I was like, oh, like it's about understanding the inputs. What is in your environment? What's in your home? What's on your skin? What's in your shower? What's in your bedroom? How do you go to bed every night? How stable is your blood sugar? How much inflammation do you have? It's building in these processes where you slowly chip away at all these aspects of your health so that they're not going to be harming you any longer. And that's where you thrive long term. So, phase one, as I mentioned, is calm. So, it's calming inflammation in the gut and supporting your nervous system. So, the first step is not like get rid of bloating tomorrow. It's not going to happen, or reflux, or IBS, or sugar cravings, but it's about calming the fire. So, regulating your nervous system, which either is pushing the pedal on fight or flight and stress, or it's pushing the pedal gently on rest, digest, and recover. You cannot restore your health if your foot is on the gas pedal. So, a stressed, inflamed gut, impossible to heal, like physically impossible. So, I need to teach you about your nervous system. And that's what I do for my clients so that they start understanding the actions that they're taking are creating stress. And this could include things like fasting and things that are beneficial for the right person at the right time, but not for everybody. And I teach those nuances so that people understand, is this right for me or is this just something I need to reserve for later? This client here says, I wanted to let you know how much of a difference I've noticed in these past couple weeks. I've lost 7 pounds and my bloating has gone down substantially. Pants that felt tight before feel comfortable. This person says, my early win is dropping a few pounds, feeling better already. Haven't been following the meal plan, but have been using the recipes, all so delicious. So it's not about restriction, deprivation, white knuckling your way through it, eating cardboard all day, or eating a bunch of salads and counting calories or any of that. It's about restoring your nervous system with daily practices and then calming inflammation through food. So many women skip this step, right? They push through the symptoms. They're like, oh, forget about what the symptom means. I'm just going to take a supplement. Diet, exercise harder, miss meals, live off coffee. I put life off coffee, live off coffee, move toward the shiny objects. I'm talking to you, TikTok and Instagram. The shiny objects are the things that you're like, oh, this could be the winning supplement. But when the gut's inflamed, we need to calm it through food and lifestyle. Otherwise, symptoms will flare, reactions increase, or supplements don't have an impact. So when we reduce inflammation in the body, it sets that foundation for smooth digestion, increased energy, and it takes the foot off the gas. The second phase, like I mentioned, is discover. Identify your unique root causes. Once things are calm, it's like we've put out the fire, but the embers are still burning. We're like, okay, now we got to like clean this problem up. This is where we use advanced stool testing that I showed you yesterday. And I showed you just snippets of what it can provide in terms of answers to. to help you uncover the root causes that traditional medicine is not intended to find. They're never going to find those things. Those aren't tests they run. They can't bill for it. They don't know anything about it. They don't, if they didn't learn it in medical school, even if that was 40 years ago, they're not going to tell you about it. These tests will help you identify what's driving your symptoms. So you can stop guessing and stop throwing random things at the problem and instead get really strategic. So once you get that plan, as I mentioned, you get a personalized plan with that becomes your blueprint with the right supplements, the right food, and the right lifestyle shifts to correct the imbalances. And when you know that, you never go back to that. Like when you know better, you're like, okay, I totally get it. This is why this was happening. And you actually change your habits for the long run. And that is one of the super coolest things that has happened in the last 6 years of running this program this way is that the people who did this program years ago, they actually still do the things they learned in the program. And that to me is the biggest testament of longevity, of sustainability, and of the foundation. These are the foundations. If anyone's built a new home, like when you go through that design process, you know that when you go check on it and you drive by and see how it's going, they're not, picking light fixtures and putting paint on the wall and doing all the fun stuff. They're building the foundation and pouring concrete and doing the boring things that you're like, this isn't exciting. I want to get to the other stuff. But you have to have that foundation before you put things on the inside. You build the strength in the home and then you get to do the fun stuff, right? And the fun stuff in today's world, the equivalent of, picking light fixtures and paint colors in today's world, the fun stuff is red light therapy, sauna, cold plunge. These are the like icing on the cake. This is not where we start. This is like upper echelon. Like if I had an advanced health program, they would be already doing everything that I teach, everything. They would know it all. They would be doing it. They will have optimized it. Then next level are things like red light, PEMF mats, all the gadgets, right? Monitoring HRV. There's advanced things that you can do even beyond this. But if you don't already have that foundation, it's not going to make a big difference. And I see this in women all the time. There's a lady I know that she buys every gadget that comes out. Peloton when it came out, and then not just the Peloton bike, the Peloton treadmill. Who knew they had one? And then it becomes, the smart ring, and then the most advanced Apple Watch, and then the full body red light, and it's just more things, more things. The vibration plate, the da 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 da. But yet, and I just actually bumped into her a couple weeks ago and she said to me, so how much is that gut testing? How much is that hormone testing? She's like, I'm thinking that maybe I need to do that. And in my mind, I was like, I would have done that 4 years ago before investing in all these other things. Um, yeah. So anyways, so when you discover, you get answers. This client here says, I'm so amazed at the changes I'm noticing in the past couple months. I'm so happy to be doing this program. It has been life changing already in so many ways. It was nice talking to you, and I'm pretty happy now that I know what is going on with my gut. Finally, an answer. Today is the last day of my H. pylori protocol. I'm feeling great, more energized. My skin is clear, at least 2 bowel movements per day, and no discomfort or bloat after meals. Like, could you ask for better health right there? Um, this lady over here says, I wanted to stop by and share some little but amazing news. I had my first steak out for dinner tonight with zero issues. I can usually feel it passing through my stomach and I'm in so much pain, but I went home last night with issueless digestion. And this client here says, this lady on the left here, she actually did the program and she had her husband do everything with her. And this is so cool. So this is what she wrote me. We are in our 4th week of the H. pylori protocol. Peter, which is her husband, is doing everything with me. His cholesterol is perfect now, and he does not require treatment. He's lost 25 pounds and is doing really good. And this is her doing the program and telling him to do the same stuff. It's foundational human health. So phase 2, getting answers changes everything. And this is where you finally will say, wow, this makes sense. And clarity will replace confusion. Strategy will replace trial and error. And your individualized gut restoring plan will give you that blueprint. It's like the map up to Everest. Like I always give analogies for outdoors and sports because that's like my life. But you wouldn't go to Mount Everest in flip-flops with one single water bottle, without gear, with one granola bar, right? But that's how we're trying to treat our health, as though it's so easy to hack that we can just hack our way through. We cannot hack our way through. In order to get to the top of Everest, in order to get to optimal health, there are no shortcuts. And I think I put in here one client of mine that came to me after Ozempic. I'll tell you if her testimonial comes up and I'll tell you her story. This client here says, this program's an investment into yourself and feeling better and living a better life. The program offers the proper testing to give you answers. The videos are short but informative, and you get step-by-step guides. So results and a plan will make all the difference. This client on the left, this was during COVID, so she was at like her son's like Christmas play or whatever, so she had to have a mask. She came to me with bloating, loose stools, long heavy periods, cravings, low libido, poor sleep, fatigue. She also was told she was pre-diabetic and was considered like obese. In 6 months, she lost 73 pounds. No longer pre-diabetic, no more joint pain, normal stools, and healthy periods. She says signing up for the Happy Gut program has impacted my life so much. The mental and physical changes are unbelievable. I make better choices. I don't crave sugar, but I still enjoy it. The tools I've learned from you are life-changing, which is insane. And this is not dieting and exercising. This is like getting healthy through your gut microbiome, through your nervous system, through learning about what creates health in your everyday and what's derailing it. This client over here, she was actually off work because she was so tired. She was so tired. She has kids and she was so exhausted that she couldn't even get through a day. So she had to take a leave from work. So I'm talking she's maybe even beyond where you are. She had debilitating fatigue, weight gain, off work, anxiety. Halfway through the program, she wrote me and she said, I'm almost 3 months into the 6 month program and I've lost 18 pounds. My TMJ has improved. I can't wait for the bacterial overgrowth cleanse as I know it will improve my symptoms even further. She also had clear skin and more energy, and you can just see the brightness, like the tone of her skin is yellow here, and here it's like pink. And then look at her neck. She's lost visceral fat, which is the deadly kind of fat that's stored on the inside. If you snore, or you carry weight in your viscera, in your middle, that's not good. If you got a good booty, that's okay. That's actually not the fat that's going to kill you the same way that visceral fat in the neck and the belly is. Yeah, so that was amazing too. So phase 3 is where you thrive with those long-term sustainable habits. So prioritizing your health doesn't end when your symptoms go away, right? You don't go back. I don't want women to go back to what they were doing. You will just create the same problems again. So years will go by, you'll be back to square one, which is not what we want, which is not what happens to people that work with me because I teach them and they go through the process to get well, and then they've shifted their whole life to get there in a gentle, sustainable way that they keep going because they feel so good. So this phase is about strengthening your digestion, rebuilding trust in your body and nervous system, and creating those habits so you're not stuck fixing the same issue again. This lady here says, these habits are simple and have stuck with me and my family. This program gave me my life back so I can show up each day for my girls and the people in my life that matter. This program changed my life in so many ways. This lady says, I love the program so far. It's what I've dreamed of and so much more. Being a health nut, I love nerding out about all the things that I teach, she's saying. Having your expertise eliminates the guessing games that left me with more feelings of anxiety. So thank you, and I look forward to the next modules. This lady here says guidance. I continually played guessing games with supplements, foods, worked with so many types of doctors, and was pulled in so many different directions. I felt incredibly hopeless, diet after diet, supplement after supplement. I was intaking more supplements than food. They always wanted to fix the issue with one solution, but I was never provided the proper guidance on how to help understand the root causes, handle my stress, take action on my hormones, and address proper eating habits. So this works when other things haven't because it's a total body approach. It's not just the gut. We're not just talking about like fiber and water and poop in here. It's hormones, metabolism, nervous system, blood sugar, minerals, your environment, your past. And it addresses inflammation first. So you start feeling better quick and put your body back on the right path. And it removes the guesswork because we're using actual testing And then you get a plan that's made for your body. It's not just what, a bazillion other people are doing the exact same thing, even though they're going into it with different histories and situations. So it's not a quick fix. It's a process that actually sticks and helps you really thrive long term. This girl right here, she came to me with previous diagnoses of SIBO, so small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, greasy stools, reflux, endometriosis, ocular migraines. She had tried antibiotics, and after the program, she had better moods, no more bloating, no undigested food in the stool, regular daily poops, and healthy periods. She didn't have a sign of endometriosis. And when I met with her at the end of the program, I said, "Have you had any migraines though?" She had even forgot that she had migraines because like 6 months had gone by. So she was like, "Oh my gosh, I forgot I even had headaches." Like, that's crazy. I have to remind people sometimes where they came from or what they told me because they don't even recognize that part of themselves anymore. She says, a quick note to say, I'm so in love with this program. It's changed my life. I'm rewatching the videos with much clearer brain, integrating all the steps together. I'm winning again. Um, I'm so glad you taught me how to eat right. I never have any sort of cravings anymore, right? Because those cravings, like we learned the last 2 days, are driven in the gut. Your gut microbiome, your blood sugar instability, your mineral deficiencies, all the things that we cover in the program are triggering you to have cravings and make you think that you like sugar, but it's not that. So I want you to meet Carly. So I don't, she didn't send me a photo. And by the way, those other women, they just send me their photos, but we don't actually take photos. This is not like a weight loss program that I'm talking about here. So they just sent me those and they're like, you won't believe this. And I'm like, wow. Um, but people don't usually do that. So Carly, her main symptoms when she started the program were chronic bloating, gas, and constipation. I don't know about you ladies, but how many of you have any of those things? Bloating, gas, constipation. Yes, yes, yep, I do. Yes. Um, she had tried a vegan diet, a low FODMAP diet, allergy testing, like she meant food allergy and sensitivity, restricted eating all foods. I've done gluten-free, dairy-free. I spent thousands of dollars on supplements. I could write pages on all the different kinds, but all of them were for the purpose of healing the gut. So she did all the things, even similar to what I do in the program: probiotics, bacterial overgrowth, anti-candida, digestive enzymes. I've had stomach scopes and colonoscopies. I've seen intestinal specialists and two naturopaths. Okay. So I don't think there's a thing on that list that she had not done. Her testing that we ran showed she had H. pylori, she had bacterial overgrowth, she still had candida. She was not absorbing fat she was eating. Her immune system was overactivated. She was reacting to gluten. She had large intestinal inflammation. And she ran the extra hair mineral testing, and she had low potassium, low sodium, and high copper. The crazy thing is that the naturopath that she saw told her to go on a vegan diet. So she was eating loads and loads and loads of vegetables and plant-based proteins, and those are really high in copper and they're low in zinc. So when you do that long term, you're going to throw off your mineral balance. So the exact advice he was giving actually created a worsening problem. And so we reversed all of that, and I showed her her minerals and what's happening eating the vegan diet that he had told her to eat for her gut, which was not working. So we were able to rectify all of this. And she says, I'm having one good bowel movement per day and a lot less gas. The tips and guidelines in the modules have helped me stop my habit of nighttime snacking. And then she says, I think all women should take this program. The things you learn are foundational to living a healthy life. The testing in the program is so beneficial to getting answers, and having someone like Ninu to personalize a program for you rather than being put on a one size fits all is so important. I've seen multiple health practitioners, and this is by far the best experience I've had. So that was just like, oh, just like warmed my heart. And Stephanie says, I can completely relate. Yeah, it can be so hard. I want to share with you, though, three very inconvenient truths. These are like just facts. In Canada, we are taught that healthcare is free. Well, we really pay it with our taxes, but that healthcare is free. It's not free, though. Sick care is free. Okay. Sick care is free, not healthcare. Prime example, because we've been talking about that case of the friend I have that has breast cancer and she's like, 45. Um, all of the things she's getting done, chemotherapy and CT scans and seeing a specialist and oncologist and chemotherapy and blood work every week, all of that's covered. But guess what? The health part of it isn't. So investing in private hormone testing, private gut testing, private mineral testing, nutritionist information, getting IVs of vitamins and nutrients, like none of that's covered, even though that is going to help her substantially. So healthcare isn't free. What's free is under the roof of a hospital. If you break a bone, you have a stroke, you have a heart attack, you're in an emergency situation, for sure, healthcare is going to help you not die. They're amazing at that. But where they're going to not thrive and not help you thrive and not be successful in helping you is when it comes to truly being vibrantly healthy. So no one is coming to save you. And I know that freaking sucks. You're like, dang, I thought that I could go to this person called a doctor, and that's what they did because the doctors of our past, 100 years ago, they would make house calls. Someone might be like, you might have a child who um, they tripped and fell and cut their leg open and they got bacteria in it and now they are going septic and the doctor would make a house call and come and give them antibiotics and the child would live, right? Or give them medication to kill the infection or give them, even back then, it was things like herb salves. They might have even gone to go forage, brought the herbs, literally medical doctors. This is what they did. They would go and get the herbs, get the thing, apply it to the wound, and help it heal. And then the parent, the guardian would say, you saved his life. Like, thank you so much. And he really, truly restored his health. That's what it used to be. But with the advent of pharmaceuticals, the tools in the toolbox in medicine have become drugs, surgery, or wait and see. And blood work is the primary way they're going to wait till that's changed. That final domino has fallen. All the other dominoes have crumbled down long ago. Now we might see it in your blood, and then they'll be able to give you a medication to target symptoms. So no one's going to come and save you. Not me, not you, not anybody. It is going to be up to the woman, the individual, the family to decide that you want a different life. Because you can't be well if you don't understand your body. It's impossible. Like that would be like telling me to fly to in a rocket ship to Mars, like putting me in the rocket ship and being like, "Hey, go, just push some buttons and go, just try some stuff." I'd be like, "What? Like I can't do that. I don't understand this. I don't have the operating manual. I don't know what to do first. I don't know what button to push. I don't know what these things mean. Like we are living in this body. Like we need to know how to take care of it." And it's so unfortunate that that education isn't built into the system. But I really believe the change makers are me, are you. Because when you know better, oh, now you tell your partner, now you tell your husband, now your kids are eating differently, now you're educating them, you're telling your best friend, she's making the changes. Like it has to start at home, it has to start with the individual. Because I've had clients put autoimmunity into remission, lose the 73 pounds, no longer have PCOS, get pregnant when they were told it was impossible. And they go to that doctor and they say, yeah, I did these things. Like, isn't this amazing? Like, look at me go. They don't really care that much. They're like, that's good. You got lucky. And the person is like defeated, like, got lucky. I did this. I created it. And they start to understand themselves and their body on a level that builds health that they're just not taught in medical school. They're taught about bodily systems and not even how they're interconnected, right? So we have to understand, what does it take in our modern day life to be healthy? So if these last 3 days have helped things click for you and you finally understand why nothing's worked, right? You don't have the right answers, you're not operating in the right direction, you're not taking the right steps in the right order, and you're ready to stop trying random things and get a real strategic plan using functional lab testing, I can absolutely support you through that process. So that three-phase approach, calm, discover, and thrive, is for the woman who is tired of it, tired of the guessing. They want a clear plan. They want the testing. They want support, not overwhelm. And they want to address their gut and digestion because obviously that makes you really uncomfortable. It's impacting your hormones, metabolism, energy, and inflammation. So we're going to see wins there because that is all impacted by your gut health. Because you always have choices. Always. You have two choices. You can stay where you are and you can keep kind of cycling around trying to find answers or picking up small little branches to see if, are these the things? Is this the lever I need to pull? Is that the lever? Is this the button? Um, or you can do something different. If you want to bridge the gap between where you are now and where you want to be, that's where a program that I offer can help you if you're interested. And it's exactly why I created this program. So it's not a quick fix, it's not a one size fits all. It's a guided integrative health program that uses this approach, the Calm, Discover, Thrive, to cover all 8 aspects of your health, to give you back total body health by working on resetting the gut. We're working on the gut to bring about health in the whole body and teaching you how all these systems are interconnected. And then you take action week by week on those things. So the Happy Gut program is the name, and it includes, I call it the VIP experience because it's like a full body complete program. So it includes the GI map stool test and an individual protocol made for you. Something I didn't talk about is we also always run vitamin D and omega-3 fatty acid testing on everybody. So important because if these aren't optimized, your risk of depression, anxiety, brain fog, ADHD, lack of focus, leaky gut, heart disease, stroke increases. The shipping costs of the testing, they're to you and back to the US. Weekly email check-ins, 3 consultations with me. You get that individualized gut restoration plan. You get the course curriculum, which is the education that the women that who had commented where they're speaking about it. It's video lessons that guide you week by week in the right order to bring about change that lasts. There's also action steps. You're not just viewing information and going, okay, that's cool. Next, I'm literally like, go do this now and don't move on till you have. So it kind of forces you to have success. Then there's 10 weeks of nutritionist. I created meal plans that are strategically guided to reduce inflammation and stabilize blood sugar and improve digestion. So they're literally like graduated plans. Like you don't even have to follow it verbatim. You can just pull the recipes, but it's if you just did nothing but did that, you would see substantial success. There's lots of guest expert training series on somatic or stress release from the body, on boundaries, tapping, like so many modalities to open you up to how you can start to really bring about total body health. You get unlimited email support from me. So for 6 months, if you have a question, literally I'm in my inbox every day answering questions like, what about this protein powder? I'm going to this wedding. What should I do there? What about this? bumping into a roadblock. I need support with this. What do you think about that? I'm here to answer those for you. And then you get lifetime access to the program lessons. So the online platform that is the Happy Gut program curriculum, you don't have to rush through it. You don't have to feel stressed that life's busy. You can always come reference back when you want to return to those habits, or maybe you wanted to watch a lesson again. There's so many other things in there. Bonus master classes on immune function, on fasting, just everything. There's everything that has to do with women's health is basically in there. So what support looks like, you're supported through every one of those phases with that testing, the clear phased plan, in-depth video visits, email support, and a long-term strategy. So it's not information, it's a transformational health program with real steps you need to take, real testing, and real results. So it's designed to take the pressure off of you, remove the guesswork, and address your gut health in the right order. So we support your whole body. This client here says, I think this is the one that was on Ozempic. I just have to remember. I wanted to send you a little update. I weighed myself today and I'm down 15 pounds since I started working with you 8 weeks ago. Most importantly, though, I feel lighter, no more bloating or abdominal pain, and I have more energy. I'm choosing nutritious foods that give me more energy and keep me full. I'm not craving the sweets and chips anymore. And when I choose to treat myself, I enjoy it without guilt. Thank you for all your help. I'm excited to keep going. This lady right here in the middle, she has 4 kids. They're all under the age of 10. She had been a stay-at-home mom and she joined the program when she took on a full-time job. So she literally was like, I'm going to start the program. I'm going to be out of the house Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. And she has 4 kids. And this is what she wrote me. How are you? I hope you're well. I wanted to check in. Things are going well overall. I feel so much better, less bloated and swollen. In fact, my fingers are so much less swollen the other day. My wedding ring just fell right off. Thankfully, it didn't go very far. I have more energy and I'm on my period. And to be honest, it has been barely noticeable. And I've lost 12 pounds, which feels great. Like, that's amazing. She has 4 kids and she went back to working full time when she started the program. This woman here is trying to get her cycle back because your cycle is a marker, just like your poop is, of your overall health. And she said, my period came this morning. Ha ha ha. So happy. She's so happy that her hormones are coming back online. Yeah. So if this has resonated and you're feeling like you don't want to guess and you want to have your life back, I'd love to invite you to book a free 30-minute gut health discovery call with me. It's literally a conversation where you can talk about your specific symptoms, your goals, and ask me any questions that maybe you don't want to ask me here and decide if joining the Happy Gut program could be the next step for you. And I will send you, I'm going to send the link, put the link in the chat for um, booking a call with me. I don't have a lot of time in my calendar, even squeaking in these 3 days. Like I literally have a client after this. So I have opened up time on Friday afternoon and on Monday, if that would work for you. If it doesn't, you can always email me and let me know what does, and I can see if I can squeeze it in between the clients I do already have. Um, yeah, so let me know if there's any questions. But I do offer just a limited number of these, as I mentioned, about women who are serious about getting support and prepared to invest in their health. Like I said, like healthcare is not free. Unfortunately, I wish that it was, but it's not. And we, as a family, have been spending money on our own health to stay out of the healthcare system for decades, like literally. My older son's 13, and we were on this journey 4 years. So 17 years, 17 or 18 years, we've been running our own private testing out of pocket. I run my kids' hair mineral testing. I run their stool testing. We stay on top of our health so that we are not going to succumb to chronic preventable issues. So the women I work with are ready to invest in real testing and support. And this is not a low cost program, so it's not the right fit for everybody. It's not also the program value because it's delivered. It's not a group program, but because I've pre-recorded all those lessons, it saves you from seeing me 40 visits for me to teach you and have you make all those changes. So I've strategized and made it kind of a blend of a hybrid between communicating directly with me, learning the lessons and taking the action steps online, and then doing the testing at home so that the cost can come down. So if that's something that you're interested in learning more about, definitely book that call with me. Anne says, do you do hair testing? Absolutely. Actually, I had planned to put some slides in of hair testing in here, but I didn't have a chance. But one add-on to the program that like 95% of women add is the hair mineral testing. So it takes a sample of hair from the back of your head, and so you're going to cut it at home, a few strands, and then we only want the first inch, so direct from the scalp or from the root. And we're going to mail that in, and they burn it in a lab. And what doesn't burn is minerals and heavy metals. So we get this little pile of minerals and heavy metals, and they can break those apart and tell us what was floating in your bloodstream in that month of time that this hair grew out. Now, remember I said that blood work is homeostatic. It stays regulated to keep your heart beating and you breathing, right? It's not going to change willy-nilly. So your minerals in your blood will look normal, but seeing what's going on at the cellular level can be done by looking at hair. So when we do this, it is insane what we can see. I actually just had the client I'm talking to today. Is it today? Anyway, a result came back that I saw yesterday, and her calcium is through the roof. It is way, 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 way off the charts. But that is not dietary calcium intake. That is her bones are leaching calcium out into her body to deal with stress. So she's going to be diagnosed down the road if she didn't know this information with osteopenia, osteoporosis, and she's only in her 50s. So we can turn that around, right? Reabsorb the calcium, figure out the other mineral imbalances. So it can tell us about your thyroid function, your blood sugar, your immune function, your adrenals, as well as bone relative proxy for calcium in the bones. Is yesterday's session available? Yes, it's on the same replay page that I sent yesterday. So if you have that email from yesterday afternoon-ish, um, day two is in there. So the hair mineral testing is $3.99, and that includes the test and a consultation with me when the results come back. We meet like this and go over it, and then I give you a step-by-step plan of how to start to rebalance the problems that we see. Um, yeah, hopefully that helps. Um, and Val, we talked about day one, and you said it freezes halfway. Um, have you tried it just now, or or was it you that said that you tried on Monday? I'll try and upload it again, so that it stops screwing up on everybody, because that would not be good if you didn't catch the last half. So I'll go in there and re-upload that when I upload this video. I'm just going to stop the recording for now.